So this is kind of going to be like a pseudo first session, because we've been working together for a while, and we decided we're gonna set some new long-term goals. So this will kind of show you how we kind of go about brainstorming long-term goals together. Looks good.
Goals.
Let's talk about your long-term goals. I know you've been dying to do these. Okay, now normally I like to stick to a non-outcome based goal. So I usually discourage things like get all A's, because you can do everything that you possibly can do and still not get an A. Alright, so there's your academic. Other things we talked about, well, there's the college situation. And then there's...
Apply to college, I guess.
So how could we say that in a way that works and that we can measure?
Apply to colleges.
Yeah. Well, that's an outcome, again.
What's an outcome?
So how can we say it in a more way that's based on your behavior throughout the semester? You remember when we created a goal of creating and maintaining a schedule of homework and studying? Okay, so that when we did that, we talked about the 2 steps you created, and then you stick to it, and then hopefully that gets you your A's, right? So the goal is to get the applications done, but we also don't want you to, the week before they're all due, just scramble and get 5 applications done, right? You meet your goal, but not well.
So follow schedule, or set up schedule, and follow through with it, I guess.
For applying to colleges?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Set up schedule for applying to colleges and follow through.
Perfect. One other quick question just to check in. Last year we had a goal of decreasing anger by addressing, we did some journaling and things like that. Where are you on that? How are you feeling? Do you feel like that's something that still needs to be addressed?
I still writing it, so I guess.
Good.
I read the old ones the other day. It was funny. It was funny.
Is it cool to look back on?
Yeah.
That's cool. So you're still using it. Do you feel like you need to put that down as a goal, or do you feel like that's kind of something that's become like a habit and it's working well for you?
It's become a habit. Especially when I can't sleep. Like if I'm just like, sometimes I can't sleep. Like depending on, like I don't know, 'cause sometimes I eat stuff. And sometimes I don't take I'll take my medicine late and I can't sleep. And I'll just write and I don't go to sleep. So,
well, I'm glad you're still using it. That's awesome. That's going to be really cool for you to have. Look back on and stuff.
Sometimes really angry, so that makes me laugh.
Yeah. So now where is do you feel like that's working well enough for you as a tool, or do you feel like we need to do any additional work there? Other than talking about stuff like we usually do.
I'm okay. I just get angry at myself. But it's not bad. Like it's not as bad. Like I don't know.
You have high standards for yourself.
Yeah, that's why I don't like setting myself up for failure. That's why I was so scared last year when I had to do all A's and B's.
It's scary to set high goals, but it's really cool when you meet them, right?
Yeah, it feels really good when you meet them.
Yeah.
I haven't been as good at pulling out my calendar first thing in the morning and going through my day.
Okay.
However, I've been pretty good at pulling it out when I'm first sitting down to do this stuff.
Good.
So at least pulling it out to do some things are getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, I could fill in yesterday and today kind of thing, but I can keep going back to that and fill in the rest of the week.
Could we try maybe pairing it with something in your morning that you're typically doing anything, like when you're eating breakfast or when you're checking your email or something like that?
With checking my email is probably the most logical place where I'm likely to have it, because I will tend to set my bag down in the office by the computer. So even if I decide to check my email out of order or something,
Right.
if I just start linking that to checking my email, it would probably be good.
So how did you find, I guess overall, before we get back into the details, that even with the waking up late, that
It felt like there
blocked
was
time worked?
Yeah, it felt like there was padding. It was like, okay, so maybe you can't dally as much on the computer today.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I checked my email earlier, but didn't get distracted with stuff with it nearly as much. And I was like, this will still be okay if I am on track
Okay.
for later. So
Right.
it was a little like, oh, don't beat yourself up so much. This is sort of a loose schedule,
Yeah.
as long as you pick the schedule back up and get these things accomplished.
Good. So minimal anxiety for you there.
Yeah, minimal anxiety for me there.
Good.
And I was just like, okay, you know, you've made breakfast, you haven't eaten yet, you checked your computer. Just by the time you're done watching TV and showering, as long as you're back on schedule, it's not a bad day.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
And so I think having this type of a schedule is one of those where I can't resort to the perfectionist thing of beating myself up about it the same way. And that helps. And well, you should have gotten going earlier in the morning. Now it's a little bit like, well, but you planned for that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So the order got shifted around a little bit, and I actually left at 12:30,
Okay.
which is what we were talking about
Perfect.
getting going.
Yeah.
Ordered lunch, you know, let myself listen to the audiobook like I'd said.
Yep.
And what I've taken to doing is I pull my stuff out, I set my lunch, but I have the books sitting out because they sort of start sucking me into them then,
Mm-hmm.
rather than taking them out later.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they can just sit there right now while I'm eating and listening
Get
to this book.
used to them.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that that works for transitioning me, but there's a big difference between if I take them out then or if I take them out later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm
It's
surprised.
psychological.
Yeah.
It's, so that's becoming a good habit. I think I wrapped up there about 4 instead of like 4:30 for Friday and stuff, but
Good.
got some work done.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday we sorted and sorted and sorted. I told you we were prepping for Dave's sister to come in with us.
Right, right.
And she moved in Monday. We helped her move Monday. So
Okay.
I had said I didn't have anything on my schedule for Monday. I'd forgotten that because they were moving.
Okay.
Felt like I made up for it because we didn't talk about Friday, so
There you go.
I was telling myself it was a trade.
Well, it's the same kind of flexibility. I think that's great to have, hours you can switch kind of within your hours, and if you have to, you can kind of switch a day here and there. Things come up, even if it wasn't something on the calendar, something could have come up.
It could, you're right.
Health
You're
could
right.
have,
It could have.
Yeah.
It really could have. All things being said though, I wish I will perpetually wish I'd gotten more done on my dissertation right then.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a permanent thing, and trying to keep in mind that forward progress is still forward progress.
Mm-hmm.